Hello, how's everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody's doing great. Good to see you here. Well, let's go into a question that I have here. So ask Mark, can you talk about the mirror principle? What is the mirror principle and how can I use it to change my subconscious? Yes, so the mirror principle, so I'm sure you guys probably seen a lot of topics, videos, teachings about the mirror principle. So the mirror principle is actually quite simple. It says this. It says that what we see outside will reflect what we experience outside. Inside, outside. So it's like this. If you get up in the morning, or just go and look into your mirror, right? So if you look into your mirror, you will see your reflection. And the mirror will show you exactly what you're reflecting. The mirror is not going to show you what you want. So if you're in a mirror and you're looking and you're not smiling, the mirror is not going to smile until you smile. So the mirror principle is that we reflect what we hold internally. Now, it's a deeper meaning to that. So what it says is that basically it's saying that we are creating our experiences from our internal subconscious map. So our subconscious map will mirror to us what we see in our physical daily reality. And all right, let me give you an example and show you how this stuff works. So when we were kids and we were growing up, our subconscious mind is like a computer. It takes in information or programs based on what we see and experience in our beliefs, and it holds these beliefs into our consciousness. Now the thing is, our subconscious mind, this guy doesn't like to change. It likes to resist the change. So you have to get a pattern recognition to change it. So that's what the mirror principle is showing you. Mirror principle is saying that if you don't like what you're seeing outside, you have to change on the inside. And the best thing to start to change in the mirror principle is to be positive. If you start to be positive, you're going to reflect an energy of positivity. You got to remember, the important thing, guys, is that we live or we exist in frequency waves. Everything comes into our lives based on a certain pattern. It's like a station. We're going to be tuned in to what we're broadcasting. So just like we have radio stations, the radio stations have all these different channels. They have jazz, music, hip hop, classical. Our lives do the same thing. We have all different channels or frequencies. We have a frequency of abundance, we have a frequency of lack, we have a frequency of scarcity, we have a frequency of depression, we have a frequency of self-sabotage. All those frequencies are out there. It's just a part of the pattern of the universe. And you have to change the pattern by interrupting the old pattern with a new pattern. Now, this involves retraining or making your brain what we call plasticity. It's called neuroplasticity. So let me show you and teach you how you can make your brain a better receiver for information so you can manifest. So all right, listen to this. Your brain likes to pay attention to your feelings. So how you feel will tell your brain to create a pattern, it's called a neural network, a pattern. And the pattern is your brain will bring it up every time you have that feeling or every time you experience a certain thing. So let me give you an example of this. So let's say you see something and it makes you anxious. So there has to be a stimulant. The stimulant could be external or internal. An external stimulant will be if you see somebody, they make you upset. They make you upset, they bring back past memories, and then you get anxious. Or you see something, you get anxious. Let's use your desires. If you have a desire you want, let's say you want your dream or whatever, money. When you think about money, you get this tight feeling or something doesn't feel right. That's usually a subconscious blockage. Your subconscious says we don't deserve that. So let me give an example how you can help to train your brain on that. So let's say you want something, and when you think about the money or anything, and you get this feeling of like anxiousness or just like it's called the fight or flight. You just want to like run away. You feel like it's not good for you. The feeling isn't good, right? So here's what you do to retrain your brain to accept that, to change that feeling. first thing you got to do, this is for negative stuff. Anytime you're in the state of a negativity or a feeling or a lack or anxiousness, the first thing you have to do, you have to stop, and you have to take about 3 deep breaths like this. You're going to breathe in through your nostril like this. Then you're going to exhale through your mouth. Slowly 3 times. Here's what happens with your brain. Your brain is going to recognize that, okay, what the breathing does, for the record, the breathing relaxes your nervous system. It takes you out of the fight or flight. So if you're in that state and then you breathe 3 times, your brain's going to realize, wait a minute, we can't be in a state of distress. We can't be in a state of anxiousness. Otherwise, we wouldn't feel this relaxed. So the brain now is going to change. See how that works? So now when you breathe out and relax, the brain now says, oh, so this is not threatening anymore. Okay, so this is okay. So that's the first step. The next thing you do now to get your brain to lose focus of that negative pattern, negative thought, you're going to take 5 things around you. And you're going to focus on these 5 things. So like, for example, you get glasses. Okay, you look at your glasses. You say, okay, look at that. Okay, maybe there's I'm looking in my car here. I'm looking at the knob to turn. Okay, look at it, circular, it's silver. Okay, how big is it? Okay, what color is it? Then just pick 5 things. If you have a cup in your car, look at the cup. Say, okay, look at this cup. This cup is this, that. When you take your direction away, you're now retraining your brain to say, the thing that I was thinking about, the thing that I was anxious about, it's not important to me anymore because I took my attention away from it. Now what your brain will start to do now, your brain will start to filter it out and put it in the background. That means now, though there's negative thoughts and these what we call anxiety, they will start to now fade away because it's not an attention. It's not something important to your brain. See, your brain is looking to keep your survival. So when something makes us anxious or nervous, our brain is going to fixate on it. It has to focus on it because, okay, we got to protect ourselves. Okay, let me give you an example. Okay, it's like, okay, let's say you're walking in the park. Okay, and in the park, you got the nice trees and a nice thing. Okay, you're fine. Then next to you, there's like a pack of lions. Your brain is going to fixate on the lions. It's going to say, oh my God, you're going to get tense and anxious, right? That's how you perceive it. But now if you train your brain this way, by the breathing, by taking the 5 things, those pack of lions now become a pack of cubs or cats. So now your brain looks at them differently and says, okay, this is not a threat, and it moves on. This is the secret to mastering your emotions and removing your anxieties and to move on to manifest. That's how your brain works. Your brain doesn't just work by just positive. You got positive thoughts, and you have to give it physical things to show it the new patterns. And this is how it works. So once your brain sees that you are relaxed with these deep breathing, the feeling that you had now, it's going to change. And then when you take your attention away and you start focusing on 5 different things, now your brain really gets it and say, okay, so not only am I feeling relaxed, so like the fight or flight now turns off. Not only am I feeling relaxed, the thing that I was feeling anxious about, the thing that I was feeling I didn't want, it's not important. Because look, we are our attention on something else. So the brain says, okay, I'll put this in the background. Now our brains do that every day, guys. Think about this. Every day in your life, you walk around, there's all types of sounds and things going on, your own breathing, your brain filters all that stuff out. You don't even notice it or hear it, but it's still there. The hum of your fridge, the fan in your room, if you have it on, the brain, it's just normal now. You don't even hear it like that. It just filters it out because it's not important. So it's the same process with our feelings. If your feelings of distress or anxiety and you do this approach, your brain will filter it out. And then when you take your focus away, now your brain says, this is not important. So after you do that, right? So after you get your brain on that, now you're going to retrain the brain. And you retrain your brain by now giving it a new stimuli. So how do I give myself the new stimuli with my brain? Well, the mirror principle now says that, remember, inside, outside, reflection from inside to outside. So the step you want to do now, you either want to apply your imagination as visualizing. So you either want to visualize what it is you want your brain to pay attention to. Visualize the goal you want in the end, okay? That's the number one way to get your brain out of the state of resistance. Once your brain gets out of that state, you enter a state of abundance. So remember, guys, the key to make all of this stuff work is what? Is our attention. What we're focusing on and our emotions. Our emotion and attention creates our experiences and our reality. So if your emotion is of distress or anxiety, those deep breaths will calm, because what happens, it brings oxygen into your body. Oxygen now creates oxytocin, serotonin. It relaxes the nervous system. If the nervous system gets relaxed, the brain sees it's not a threat. And then if you take your attention, put it on something else, now the brain sees that this is not only is this a threat, but this is not an important task. Anything that's not important, anything that's not a threat to your brain will put it in the background. It's not up front. That's important. That's what you want. Anything that is important, that gives you emotions, your brain will put it in the front. That's important. So you want to do the opposite. You want to put the distress, the anxiety in the back. You want to put the positivity, the optimistic, the good stuff you want, the goals, the feelings of neutrality and peace. You want to put those up front. Because now if those are up front, your brain now sees this as a goal, as something to manifest. And the subconscious, by the way, this is all done by the subconscious. Subconscious now will send the information to the brain, and then the brain gets it, the conscious mind retrieves it, the conscious mind perceives it, and the conscious mind takes action to bring it into your experience. That is the formula to fix anything in your life. So now you just learned something very important about how your brain works and how to manifest. Now let me say one more thing about the mirror principle or the mirror technique, because some of you are just joining here. Remember this now. If you're seeing something in your external world that you're not satisfied with or you don't like, you want to go take an internal catalog or vlog or internal look inside of yourself and say, okay, I don't like what I'm seeing outside, so let me examine what I'm feeling inside. Let me examine what's going on internally. How do I feel about this? Do I feel like I deserve it? You gotta take a map. You gotta take a true detailed map of your inner feelings. You gotta be honest and open with yourself. You gotta say, look, am I feeling this because of that? And then once you understand or you figure out what it is that's been holding you back, then you can go ahead and apply the principles, and then you can change your life. See how that works? Great. So that is the basic principle of the mirror principle, and then how to get you to retrain your brain to bring you more of what you want. All right. See you guys next time.